Roger Marshall of the Senate Homeland Security Committee. He says he is introducing a resolution to trigger a floor vote of no confidence for the secretary. Let me start there with you. What brought you to that point?
Well, certainly, I don't think there's a person in America who thinks that the secretary is doing his job. Not a person in America thinks that the border is secure. I can't sit down and talk to anybody within 2 minutes that's not talking about the concern for the safety and security of our family. So Secretary Mayorkas is derelict in his duties. That's why we're introducing tomorrow. We'll be dropping this resolution, this vote of no confidence, and hopefully that'll empower the House to do some type of an impeachment process.
Yeah, giving the balance of power in the Senate, I expect it's not going to go anywhere, but do you think the House may take it up? I mean, they're certainly looking at it at this point.
I don't think they have a choice. I think that's what Americans are demanding. My father, a lifetime chief of police, he's concerned about the safety and security of his family, of me. Even just sitting down with a group of senators on Monday, 8 of us in one room, and the end conversation was, how do we protect our staff? Our staff members walking from the Capitol to their apartments aren't safe. So we found out that bear spray is not legal in Washington, D.C. So those are the type of conversations we're having rather than addressing the issues of inflation, the cost of gasoline, the cost of groceries.
So a lot of people in America talk about the effect of immigration on Americans, but the New York Times yesterday was talking about the effect of illegal immigration on unaccompanied minors and how they are being put almost into indentured servitude by employers across the country because of the lack of a good vetting process by the Department of Homeland Security and HHS. Listen to this exchange between Senator Josh Hawley and Alejandro Mayorkas yesterday. Listen here.
Have you seen this report from the New York Times? Alone and exploited migrant children work brutal jobs across the United States. Have you seen this?
Senator, I have, and let me share with you what we are doing.
Have you seen these numbers? These are reports of trafficking and abuse of migrant children. You can see a massive surge that begins to happen when? Oh, when you come to office in 2021.
Hawley pointed out the number of unaccompanied minors has exploded since President Biden took over.
Right. Another point that this secretary is derelict in his duties. 5 million have crossed the border illegally under his watch. We have 400,000 convicted criminal aliens still in this country, and he's doing nothing about it. That's the challenge here, is he doesn't want us to do his job. And by the way, that's what the president wants. The president of this country wants these people crossing illegally. He's hoping to stack blue states so they'll have more members in the House, more electoral votes as well. This secretary is derelict in his duties. He's got to go.
Right. I want to ask you about the report that came out in recent days from the Senate. You headed it up, and this was an investigation into the origins of COVID. The report suggests that there might have been 2 leaks out of the Wuhan laboratory. It falls short of a smoking gun, but is there any doubt in your mind?
No doubt whatsoever. The preponderance of evidence shows that there is the 2 accidental, unintentional lab leaks in Wuhan, China. The first, September 2019. The second one, while they were developing a vaccine as well. All the intelligence points that direction. The epidemiology points that direction. The science points that direction. China's had 3 years to disprove any type of theory. They have the evidence in their DNA lab bank, but they know if they shared that DNA, it would show the cousin, the brother, the father of COVID-19.
Developing a vaccine in China more than a month before anybody knew that COVID even existed. So there's the lab leak, which the report says was likely accidental. But what about China's behavior afterwards? Restricting air travel throughout China in the weeks and months following that, but still allowing Chinese nationals to travel overseas, including here to the United States, until then President Trump put in the China travel ban, which was declared xenophobic by Democrats.
Right. So certainly China was making a vaccine the end of November 2019. That means they had to have the DNA. They didn't share that with the rest of the world till I think about January the 10th. So that made us, we could have been started sooner on a vaccine, 4 to 6 weeks sooner. They denied human-to-human transmission. They denied that it could be transmitted even with asymptomatic people, which we found out later was so important as well. So they had more than just good faith mistakes. But we need to look at the mirror as well. The United States was funding this type of research through EcoHealth for decades. They need to be held accountable as well. The NIH themselves described this as viral gain-of-function research that we were funding with American dollars.
I think that we're just barely scraping the tip of the iceberg here. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Sandra?